Hey everyone, me Kevin here, coming to you with another real estate reno. I feel like it's been a while since we've gotten to do one of these, and I'm so excited because we are at a HouseHack renovation. It's still got work to do, so it's totally a renovation in progress, but you're gonna get to see some cool things. So you get to see a little bit of our HouseHack formula. Remember, if you want to learn more about HouseHack, go to househack.com. We've got an offer going for accredited investors. You get paid 5% plus all the upside in the stock evaluation. All the details over at househack.com if you want to invest. If you're accredited now, still working on non-accredited.
So in this video, I'll show you some before images with the Matterport, and at the end of the video, we'll talk more about HouseHack.
Okay, let's get into this. So let's learn some lessons here. First, big fan of curb appeal. You do some grass in the front, and then after you do a little bit of grass in the front, because you don't want to have too much grass, you come in over here and you get some nice curves going with mulch. Really big fan of this. Looks really great. You're gonna actually see this, how we did this in the backyard as well. And McKay, I love the rocks they put in, so it looks good. Probably rearrange. Love that, because that adds a lot of weight in your dumpster too. Which, by the way, if you ever have a dumpster or you're hauling things away, big fan if one of your neighbors comes over, they're like, hey man, can I throw something in it? Take it. You really want to be doing good for the community and helping people out, even if it costs you, an extra $2 or $3 or whatever. It's important for your neighbors to be happy with you. I actually like going up to the painters and or sorry, not the painters, I was reading somebody's truck. I actually like going up to the neighbors and saying, hey, here's my number. If you ever have a problem, hit us up. And then that way, if there's ever an issue with a tenant or whatever, they know, I'll just hit up the team or whatever. And then they don't, gripe on. Like, it's better for them to feel like they can be involved rather than not. I know that sounds like, oh no, then I'm gonna get bothered all the time. Well, you shouldn't. So, especially if you're renting to good tenants, right? But I wanted to walk over here because I just wanted to say, we bought this next to this place right here, and they've got Tesla solar panels and the Tesla Powerwall, and they have a Sprinter with the blackout plate, which I'm really jealous of. So really gorgeous remodel house over here. They got a gorgeous garage too. And the folks across the way on this property are totally remodeling as well. In fact, you can see they're just starting a big remodel over here, which is exciting because the whole neighborhood, I mean, look at this. Look at that. That looks pretty awesome. You got the Tesla power walls right here. Beautiful garage. I mean, it looks really good. So we're gonna be right next to this. Let's go take a look inside and show you. Now, I'll throw up some before as I'm walking around as well, so you can see it from the Matterport. But take a look at this. Right now, this is all just a mess, right? This is what a garage kind of looks like when you're in reno. I'm gonna sneak by here. Hey, I'm gonna sneak by really quick if you don't mind. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, I'll get out of your way. Thanks, man. All right, there we go. Okay, we're pouring some new concrete there, so they're just now prepping it. But okay, so here we are on the inside. Still obviously work to do, but I mean, just look at this and compare it to what it was. So I'll put up what it was on screen here with the Matterport, and you can see this is already vastly different and really exciting. And take a look at this. We got the kitchen over here, which it's still going in, obviously, but it's all set. We've got window for the sink by the front door, new window over here. We've got dual paned windows over here that are in, which is great. So we've really upgraded. Usually I don't go through and do all the new windows, but these over here were like the 1960s louvered windows. And I'll tell you, if you get a place with the 1960s louvered windows, I mean, unless you got like literally the best climate in the world and it's just never hot or cold, you kind of got to get rid of them. So it does increase the cost a little bit, but honestly, some of these properties are so high quality that HouseHack is buying, especially in the neighborhoods that they're in. We just want to hold these forever because it's just gonna, as long as they keep printing money, the government, these are going to continue to be a hedge and a great investment. We think extremely long term. We're really excited about them.
By the way, if you want all of my tips and tricks for renovations, I have a do-it-yourself property management and rental renovations course, which will get you going with renovations and tenant placement. In addition to that, I also have a 0 to millionaire real estate investing course to help you get started on your first home, your first rental property, real estate principles, your second rental property. It's really good. So check out both of those courses over at meetkevin.com. Sometimes we're also running coupon codes, so watch for those, especially around holidays.
We're really excited about them. But, we've got our sparkly, actually, we didn't go with sparkly white. On this one, it's a little dirty right now, but we went with more of a pure white quartz on this one, which is really exciting. Sparkly white is what I always used to go with, but we think we've kind of like grown up to go with more of a pure white now. So you've got this white on white, which is a really timeless look. Noob versus pro tip here. A noob is going to go for what's in today, but in 2 years, that's out. A pro is going to be thinking what's going to be in 10 years. So when I go to resell this or rent this out again in the future, I can easily do that. Now, let's see. Check. We got tamper resistant outlets. So that looks good. I always like to check. We've got to get our micro hood in over here. So that's still coming. And we've got our can over the sink. So it looks pretty good. When it comes to appliances, I love that you can get appliances pretty freaking inexpensively. I mean, this looks great. It's a GE, and usually these run somewhere between $600 to $700. You get the oven, you get the range. So beats having a wall oven and then a separate cooktop, because a cooktop alone could be $1,000, and a wall oven's like $1,000. So then it's $2,000 versus like $600 to $800. These are so easy. These box units like this, love these. So anytime I can move to these, and then I try to just go base as sort of more entry level stainless, good enough, easy to replace, doesn't break the bank, don't have to go much more expensive than that. So pretty exciting. We're going to start going with a lighter floor after this. This one's fine, and this has been part of our formula, but we're trying to just always update. And so on our next property, we're going to be updating to a more light floor. And then, of course, we still have touch-up paint. This is just really coat number one. Again, it's renovation in progress, right? So this was a disaster. Like, you see this on the Matterport. I mean, this is going to be a crazy before and after. But new versus pro tip, 2 things when it comes to bathrooms. Number 1, again, follow the rule of the kitchen. Do not do what's in now. Do what is going to be timeless. And what is timeless, my friends? The classic white subway tile. And I have to say, this tiler did a pretty bang up job. I mean, these lines align. I love the choice of the longer subway tile. We've got the blacked out hardware here. So really nice. And then, of course, we got the tub over here. Clean that up. But really nice. Put a nice color curtain in, you're done. On this one, because it has this sort of vaulted ceiling here, we tiled it all the way up to the ceiling, which looks pretty good. Vanities. Vanities are surprisingly cheap. You just pick them up off the shelf. It's amazing how inexpensive they are. Here's actually another vanity. Take a look at this one. Off the shelf. Nice. So really like this. And then another thing that I like is, I have this sort of rule, and it's sort of a new versus pro-y rule. If I can tile one bathroom, I fiberglass the other 1 or 2, depending on how many bathrooms there are. I feel like it's a little bit of a hack, but look at this one. We still got to finish the drywall around it, but this is just a basic fiberglass enclosure. Compare it to the old one that was here, and it just looks brand spanking new and amazing. In this case, it was actually cheaper to just get rid of the old one because it was so damaged and bad, and reinstall a new fiberglass enclosure. Certainly then it would have been to tile, but also it would have been more expensive to try to glaze the other one just because it was in such bad shape. So pretty good. Then, otherwise, you got your typical Decora outlets and switches, your bedrooms, your ceiling fans. Bedrooms are usually pretty easy, but I want to show you the backyard, because the backyard's like, this is so cool. So I'm really excited about this. Look at the backyard. This place is huge, mind you. So this is the back, and take a look at what it was before. Complete disaster. And then look at how we pulled this off. We went over here, and we went with a combo of mulch and rock. Always get the weed barrier, pro tip. Mulch and rock. By the way, their water heater, whoever did it wrong. That should be a rigid exhaust pipe, and the exhaust pipe should be extending at least 2 feet above the ridge line of the roof, but oopsie doopsies. It's okay. Can't always be perfect in real estate. All of my lumber for the fence is going to get painted. We usually go with a brown. We don't match the house color on it. We'll go with a brown. And then we're going to paint this concrete over here. Some knucklehead that we fired after they did this painted on our concrete, but that's okay because we'll just we'll etch it, and then we'll concrete prime it, and then we'll get rid of that by just painting. But anyway, combo of rocks, mulch, grass. Look how nice that is. It's almost like you could have a putting green back here. Really cool, large private backyard. Look how nice this is. I mean, great for kids or whatever, but very, very, very cool. So cool. I mean, great house. Now, the nice thing about houses like this is they're single family homes, 3.2, 4, 2.5, whatever. You get them in really great neighborhoods where people want to stay and live and grow up a family, whatever, raise a family. Tenants don't want to leave. So even if you get a tenant in at a lower price to start with, to get the highest quality tenant, it's easier to move a tenant to market over time and raise rents over time. That's not to say like, oh, we want to raise rents on tenants all the time. It's just to say, let's say a house is worth, I don't know, $4,500 in rent, and that's the market rent. And then you put it up for $43.95. So technically you're $105 under market. You can make that up with a little bit of an extra rent increase every year thereafter. And what you've done now is you've attracted a higher quality tenant and you've given them a good deal for the first year, as opposed to the typical thing that you see, which is apartment buildings do this all the time. They'll try to get, well, we want $5,000 in rent, and then they'll give you your first free month or whatever. And then you're like, why am I paying 5? Market's 45. And then they move and you get turnover. We don't want turnover. We want quality tenants, happy tenants. We want to be a good landlord, not trying to rip people off. We're just trying to provide a good community service out there. America needs more of that. And I get it. People are really like anti-corporate landlord, but we actually think that most landlords suck. And like everybody should be anti-bad landlord. We're just pro good landlord. But it's amazing. I mean, I see people all the time. They're like, oh, I hit up my landlord and ask him to repair a leaky toilet or whatever. And he comes over with his tool bag and, does a half-a job and then has to, come back again. And the customer service is bad because it's never done correctly the first time. Those are the kinds of things that we're trying to stay away from. We want to do quality work. We get good deals on the buy. That's where we make the money. And if our renovations go a little bit above budget, and hopefully they average out with the other renovations we do, which they usually do. And if they don't, then it's okay. We have long-term great quality assets. And that's really what we're a big fan of. We're a big fan of buy real estate. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. And then just hodl. If you go through turbulent economic times or whatever, the less debt you have, the better. At HouseHack, all of our real estate is owned free and clear. And so anything anybody invests in HouseHack, we just go buy more cash flowing real estate. And for new investors, we're paying out 5%.
Now for a quick update on HouseHack, as I show you some more of this before footage, we're kicking butt. We own about $60 million right now in cash flow positive, free and clear real estate, zero debt on that real estate. We're also operating the company at a positive now. And since we're up and running, we've got our properties rented out, and we're in a position where we've streamlined our expenses, our systems, our procedures. We expect all of 2025 to be profitable to where we hope we can pay a dividend in 2026. We think that's going to be awesome to start returning some cash to shareholders. And if you want to invest before we start paying dividends or before we hopefully go public in the future, consider going to househack.com. We do have an offering right now only available for accredited investors, so make sure you read the PPM since this video can't be a solicitation. But do keep in mind we're also working on seeing what we can do to get the Regulation A non-accredited investors in. So stay tuned. We're working on it for you. The current offer does get you the opportunity to get a 5% yield secured by the company, which has all the free and clear real estate, which means that you get a 5% yield annually, paid monthly, plus you get the upside in the stock. If we go public in the future, it goes up in value. And if it goes down in value, the company promises to pay your money back. That's because these are convertible bonds and they give you some awesome preferences. So check that out over at househack.com. Read the details there. If you have any questions, you can always email us at ir@househack.com. And stay tuned for more updates. Thanks so much. Make sure to subscribe and we'll see you soon.